The DEA requirements are now in effect. There are 11 requirements, but the reality is there's 3 components that will make or break your agency. So the new rules the DEA came out with on chain of custody, the reality is they've always wanted things to be high and tight. They're just now emphasizing it with some specifics, such as 11 key components. The fewer areas there are for gaps where you could have issues and vulnerabilities. They want to have complete accountability, they want to know whose hands it's been through, and they want to see if there's any gaps in the documentation. What does clear accountability mean? It means clear documentation from cradle to grave with that drug. And it's not just writing things down, it's dates, times, people, where it occurred, lot numbers, expiration dates, anything and everything. If you can think about a variable that occurs with handling a drug, you should probably document it. Anytime there is a serious injury or death relating to first responders, there's a thorough investigation. And when they complete those investigations, they have essentially a chain of events, and they determine, okay, if any one of these chains hadn't occurred, then that serious injury or death would not have happened. And so that's why accountability is so important with managing narcotics, is that each one of these are checks and balances to make sure nothing bad occurs. So the rule references accurate and readily retrievable records. What does that actually mean? It means if DEA or EMS agency shows up at your doorstep, wanting to do an audit, see where your drugs are, they don't want you to have to go out to a different fire station or ambulance station to retrieve them. They don't want you to have to go dig through different files, call up an ambulance, have them come in to get their binder. They want it ready to go. They also like one point of contact typically. And so if they show up, you have your EMS operations manager or whomever that's in charge of narcotics, that's your point of contact you want to be able to hand off to the DEA. And so when they talk about readily retrievable, they show up, they can go to their computer, click a button, export a report, and say, here's our complete inventory, our administration records, whatever it is they're asking for, you should be able to give it to them pretty quick. And honestly, the faster you have that ready to go and provide it to them, the quicker they're gonna be gone and the happier they're gonna be. So why is documenting administration waste so important? Aside from the fact that it's required, you always wanna document what you administer a patient with the right time and dose. You want to be able to show records of where those drugs went, because ultimately you want to be able to go back to the DEA and say every single milligram, microgram was accounted for. There's nothing that was wasted in a form that could be reconstituted. It has to be completely destroyed if it's wasted, and any drug that's administered should be documented both in the patient care report and in your narcotics tracking logs. So having that done really keeps you compliant, and it shows the DEA that you're doing your job to be a diligent manager of narcotics. So what is required when documenting drug administrations? For the patient care reporting side, you have to be HIPAA compliant as far as where you keep that documentation. You have to have the patient name, date, all that information goes with the patient, what their disposition was, which hospital they're transported to, what you administered, the exact dose, the route, IV, IM, whatever it was, and the time. And so you want to have all that information, and it's not just individual doses, because sometimes we'll just give an initial dose of like 2 milligrams of morphine to see how they're going to react. If they take it okay, then you'll give them 4 more. And so you want to make sure that all 6 of those milligrams are documented, each one with their time. And then when you're done, you want to have your witness. And so the DEA requires a verifier when you're wasting or administering drugs. And so you want to have that documentation in your narcotics logs so that all the patient information is accurate that you hand over to the hospital, and your tracking of the narcotics is also complete. If an EMS leader wants to focus on the main parts of this new rule, prioritize a system that works for your agency with thorough accountability that includes chain of custody tracking and a program that's readily retrievable. So if someone comes in an audit, it's ready to go. Really, the DEA's new regulation is just elevating the bar. It's forcing agencies to raise the bar on how they manage their narcotics. So it's actually a good thing. And the agencies are going to stand out are the ones that have a good accountability system, practice that, good training, and just go above and beyond with some sort of system that's going to keep good accountability. So if you have any questions on how to get to that higher level, just give us a call and we'll get you there.